All right, welcome to another episode of A&M Political Views. We are your hosts for this evening, Aviance Watts.
And I'm Michelle Tyson.
And today we have a special guest, the newly appointed, and I can't stress it enough, this is one man that I've been, shooting for to get, become this, but we have the newly appointed chief of the Muskegon Heights Police Department, Mr. Maurice Sain, joining us today. How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Good, man. Trying to stay warm, man. Just trying to stay warm.
Yeah, it's a little chilly out.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, man. Has it kicked in that you the chief? Like, have you had that moment where you was at home by yourself in the mirror, like, this me, I'm the chief now, or are you still kind of just being humble about everything?
Man, I think with Chief Thomas leaving, and me getting into the intern police chief position, it kind of gave me an opportunity to let my heels sink into the position a little bit. So when they finally made it official, the mayor and city council, it was just, relaxing to know that, I'm in the position now.
So it was a pretty smooth transition then.
Yeah, definitely. Chief Thomas gave me a lot of opportunities to kind of learn from him and learn the position. So when the opportunity came, I was ready for it.
Okay. Now, as chief, okay, like as opposed to being, an officer, a general officer, what's some of the responsibilities as being chief? Well, just give us like a little quick rundown.
I'm the head of the department, so I have to make sure that the department is functioning on all aspects. So, previously being, a sergeant, I just had to kind of just maintain the couple of people that I had on my team. Being the head of the organization, I have to make sure the whole department, from the officers to the command officers to the secretaries, I got to make sure everybody is doing, their part to make sure that we're successful.
So now who does the chief answer to?
I have to answer to the council and the mayor. They are my boss. So, they give me the marching orders and I go out and try to get things done.
All right.
Right. What's some of the strategies that you plan on implementing on, to keep gun violence down?
Well, I think we had a lot of momentum on gun violence with Chief Thomas. So a lot of the things that he implemented here, we're going to continue to do. If you guys follow our Facebook page, you see a lot of times we posting guns that we've got off the street. So we're actively and aggressively trying to keep guns out of the bad guys' hands. And and we're just going to keep doing that. We got our guns program that we're going to still be utilizing as trying to get the conversation out there with the youth about gun violence. So we're just looking forward to doing some things. The guns program, we have some things in the works for A Street Park. We're going to try to fix that park up for the Little League football team to make that their home field. So I'm excited about that this year. So we're going to be doing some things, man. So
because I know you guys working like really diligently to kind of keep the guns down and everything. And I know you gave me a number. Do you remember the numbers that you gave me? Because I don't have them on hand, but it was very impressive. I was impressed when I saw the numbers that you guys would, as far as the guns.
I think it was like 70 firearms that we took off the street last year. So, and that's not including what we got from the guns and groceries. That's just proactive work from my office.
Oh man, 70 and that was like last year alone?
Yes.
Whoa. Ooh. That's a big number. And that, you know what, that lets you know how many guns is really out there, because 70 is a lot, but that lets you know it's a lot more out there, because I know 70 ain't all of them, even though that's a good number, a lot of guns that's been taken off the street, but that just kind of lets you know it's a lot more guns that's out there, man. That's, y'all got a job on y'all hands, man. I commend you guys for that.
And it's not only us, one of the message I've been trying to get out there is that the community has to take some accountability. You know, my saying that I've been preaching is if you see something going on in your neighborhood, say something. You know, let us know. You know, we got to get away from, you know, I ain't telling on this person, I ain't telling on that person. No, I want the little kids that's growing up in our communities to be able to go outside and play outside and not worried about gunfire. So, you know, funny, that's some of the things I'm pushing back on the community.
And that's funny, man. It's like you almost psychic, because my next question was, what can we do, you know, as a community to help? You like reading my mind, man. Okay, I do have a question,
man,
though.
Like,
No, go ahead, man.
Again, you know, like you asking, what can you guys do? You know, again, I'm pleading to the community just to be more proactive in their approach. You know, if you see somebody, if you know little Johnny is coming outside at 11 o'clock at night, shooting his gun off in the backyard, you know, call, you know, let us know. You know, you can stay anonymous. You know, we don't have to stop at your house, but, you know, we can go make sure little Johnny knock that off, you know, so those kind of things will help a lot.
Yes, you ain't lying, because just you guys doing it alone, ooh, that's too big of a task. So I really, you know, appreciate you guys. Now I know one thing about police officers in general. Usually the general public, you know, they have a bad perception of police officers, but when it comes to you, we don't get that perception of you. We don't get that stigma of, like, you know, we don't feel intimidated when you come around. We don't feel like we feel like you for the people. Like, what's your secret, man? Like, what are you doing to make us feel so comfortable being around as a police officer?
It's not my secret. You know, historically speaking, our police department has always had people from our community. You know, when me and you was growing up, you had the Lockrises, the Harry Evans, you know, those guys were from the community. So we always had that relationship with the police department. And I think over the years, a lot of our community members stopped getting into law enforcement. So that's one of the things that we are trying to get back to, you know, with our program with sending people back to the police academy. So, you know, I'm encouraging young men and women, you know, if you're looking for a nice career, to get into law enforcement. It's very fulfilling. If you like serving people and helping people, this is a great field to get into.
So question, I know that back in the day when Ms. Kitchen was around and all you guys, you know, the old Heights Forest, Roger Kitchen and all y'all good people, you know, they had the DARE program, and it was very, very effective for the youth. Do you guys plan on implementing that any kind of way back into the school systems?
I don't think so. And one of the reasons is that the finances through the state was cut dramatically for law enforcement. So that program, I don't know many police departments that even have the DARE program anymore. One of the things that I would like to do under my tenure is try to get a resource officer back at the high school. You know, I was the last person to work up there as an officer in 2004. So we haven't had an officer up there since then. So that's something that I look forward to trying to, you know, talk with the superintendent of Muskegon Heights Public Schools and see if we can get that back established.
That'd be a good thing, because I think that police communication within the school system, it allows the kids to get to know their officers a little more and feel a little more comfortable with you guys. So if you can make that happen, I think that would be a great success and something good for our youth, especially for Heights.
Because one thing we notice about you, I mean, you are a police officer and you do protect and serve and you do your job well, but I also want to acknowledge that you are what it is, the assistant coach for the Muskegon Big Reds basketball team, the varsity basketball team, right? And I mean, your plate is full, man. How do you do it, man? How do you do it? How do you balance all that time?
That's always been like a stress reliever for me, being able to coach basketball. You know, we had great success coaching at our high school that we graduated from, Muskegon Heights.
Yeah.
And then I also had established Muskegon Heat, which is a youth travel team that's been doing great things over the last 7 years. So that's just a stress reliever. It's another passion that I have, just working with kids and trying to mold them into great citizens.
Now, well, let me ask you this. What or who was your driving force to want to become an activist / police officer / football coach / mentor? Like, what or who was your driving force? Like, what motivated you to want to take the lane that you're taking, basically?
Well, one of the things that I don't know that a lot of people really notice or realize that there's been a saying on the force since like 1975.
True.
So,
True.
So I would have to say my Uncle Latras saying, he was a police officer here, he was a sergeant here. He coached Little League football, he coached JV football at Muskegon Heights High School.
Yeah.
So
he was our coach. Yeah, we had him. Yeah.
Right. So he was definitely one of the people that, kind of I patted myself afterwards. And then I had mentors like Danny Smith, that also, I got a job at the middle school as a security officer. And he pulled me in his office and he said, "Hey, I'm glad to have you here, but I don't want to see you here in 2 years." So, you know how Mr. Smith was. So he pushed me right on out the door. I left there and joined the police academy and came back a couple of years and worked with him again at the high school, but I was an officer at the time. So
now, was Mr. You've been on the force for what, 20 years? 20 plus?
Yep, I started in 1999.
Woo, Mo. So I know,
telling my
man,
age a little bit.
Yeah, I know you've seen a lot. Like, see, and that's the thing, man. Like, for me, like being a doctor or a police officer, like I some of the stuff that you guys do, I don't have the stomach for, because I know you've seen so much. And some of the stuff I can't stomach. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got like, I don't know. Do you go home? I know. Do you go bring some of that stuff home with you? Like when you go to sleep at night, does a lot of the stuff that you seen while you was on duty, do that go through your head or do that bother you at night?
Not a whole lot. I think I have a strong passion for kids and the elderly. So when something happened to them, that kind of sticks with me more than people who just do crazy things because they want to do crazy things.
Right.
When it's kids and elderly, that kind of wear on my conscience a little bit more. But you see a lot doing this field, but you kind of get callous to it over the years, and and a lot of the big thing now is mental health. So I think that's going to start seeking into the police field a little bit more, where officers start getting counseling for some of the things that they experience and go through, because you go home and you have to just bear that burden by yourself.
Yeah, and I know that can be a lot at times, huh?
Yes, definitely. Like from our culture and our community, to tell somebody you going through a problem, the old folks say you're weak.
Right, you already know, Mo. You don't tell people when you having them low points.
So the conversation right now about mental health, I think is a good thing. So you got a lot of people like in the NBA and the NFL that's reaching out and talking about mental health, and it's kind of making it a cool conversation to have now. So
yeah, because I mean, the officers, even as well as like the kid, because being in the school system, a lot of kids, man, like when we was growing up, we didn't have that problem of like all of us walking to school one day and the next day one of us is missing because of something that happened to them or whatever. We didn't have to. We didn't go through that going to school. And these kids, a lot of them, they go through that. A lot of their friends been killed.
Oh, man.
And
I mean, multiple times.
Yeah, and it's not just one kid.
Multiple friends, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's crazy, man. That. Oh man, I can just imagine. And I mean, we don't see it like at face value when we see the child, doing what they're doing on a regular basis. But deep down, I mean, because I know for me, like one day I can be in the classroom and that next day that seat is empty because that student is no longer with us. And that weighs a lot on me. And, and I just know him from school, we might have developed a bond or something like that from school, but I could just imagine your best friend or your brother or your cousin. I mean, yeah, right. They come in, they come off like they all right. But, like you say, I mean, that applies to them as well as the officers. That's why we maybe ask you that, man, because that's a lot on your brain, man, and then to get up every day and, and just take that on, take that obstacle head on, man, that's, I commend you, man. I really commend you for that.
One of the things I talked to Dr. Pam Smith, who's over the guns program, and Janet Thomas, we talked about a program called the Aftermath. Okay. And what we're trying to do with that program is to deal with, what goes on with families after the person who did the shooting goes to jail, and after the funeral of the person that was harmed in the shooting. What then? Who's there to kind of put the pieces back together again? And I think that dynamic we missing out on.
Yes.
So we're trying to put a program together where we'll be able to sit down with parents who lost kids, siblings who lost a brother or a sister to a violent crime, and try to help them with getting counseling and just kind of come out of that situation better people.
Mm-hmm.
Much needed, man. Much needed.
Yes, it is. Speaking of violent crimes and everything, I noticed last week you guys did a wonderful job. Y'all had even though it was the feds that came in, I seen a lot of Heights also involved.
The big takedown.
We had 3 detectives involved in that.
Yes, I saw. So congratulations. And that was only 9 of 20 out here. So
it's half.
No, it was 9 out of 10.
Oh, it was 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Must be 9 out of 20.
Yeah,
okay.
9 out of 10.
90% from the field. I take those odds any day.
That's very good. That's very good. So to ask you, we're going back towards, as we are slowly approaching and opening everything back up, I'm thinking more or less she will lift everything by the summer. What do you have planned as far as orders for curfews? Because right now, she has a 10 o'clock curfew for all the restaurants and everything to close down. If she keeps that, do you plan on enforcing that with the youth also to try to help keep some of the violence down towards night? Or how do you plan on handling that, especially since it's not a lot for them to do?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be playing it by ear with whatever executive orders that the governor decide to do going forward. If you're 16 years old, you still have the 11 o'clock city ordinance curfew. So kids should be in the house by 11 o'clock if they're under the age of 16 anyway. So,
right.
And just as a parent, you need to know where your kids at.
That's true.
We know that, but these day and age, these kids, these young parents, they really don't, man. They're different. They are a lot different.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta understand that you can't allow your kids to do what we were able to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to be out and enjoy ourselves and make it home. And that's not the case right now. So you gotta be conscious of your surroundings and what's going on, and kind of sit down and have that conversation with your children. So, I got two teenage kids. One want to be 18 in March, and the other want to be 17 in September. So they trying to get out here, but they got the party in the basement.
We say party in the basement where I can see you.
Party in the basement.
I'm not mad at you on that one, because I'm glad mine grown. I don't really have to worry about it that much no more. So I just look at the grandbabies now and be like, okay, hopefully by then everything gonna be changed anyway. So
All right,
Yep,
Chief.
that's the plan.
All right, Chief. We know you have a busy day today. We don't want to take up too much of your time because we know you have a big responsibility to protect and serve our community. So we don't want to hold you up any longer. We want to thank you for your time and thank you for joining us today. And we wish you the best, and we want to congratulate you on your success.
Yes, congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate it. I just want to thank you guys for the hard work and effort you guys are putting in. We're trying to make Muskegon County a better place to live. So keep doing what you're doing, and we ever have to hook up to make something go together or collaborate on some projects, let me know anytime.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it. Thank
Hey,
you so much.
I just got a text. I don't know. They told me to say, "What's up, nappy head?" You would know what they talking about.
They're going back to our high school days.
All right, Mo. Thanks for joining us, man. You enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Thank you. Have a
You
good
too, man.
one.
Have a good one. Yep.
All right.